Hello, my name is Chris Shea. I'm a financial advisor with BPS Financial Services. And today we're going to talk about understanding credit scores, the basics of it, so that you can be more knowledgeable when you go out to get credit. I am a financial planning and implementation partner with my clients. I help them to make better choices, hopefully, and then implement those choices to then help them get better results. Again, hopefully, with their personal finances. And one of the things we do talk about is a little bit of credit. So, credit 101. There's a lot that you should know. There's a lot that you probably don't know. There's a lot that you're confused about because it's confusing. Because there's a lot out there about credit, and you want to get the facts right so you can actually find out about credit reports and scores. So, it starts with consumer reporting companies. There's a number of them. There's a list here. You can see the website, essentially consumerfinance.gov. They'll be able to give you a list of the companies that are out there. We're going to talk about a little bit. And why do credit reports and your scores matter? Well, it used to be not that big a deal, but now it's kind of a big deal. It can help you get or keep a job or lose a job. Some security clearances for governments, they require you to have a decent credit score. In the military, if you serve as a non-military active duty person, just supporting, you got to have a good credit score. Apartment hunting. Some apartments, they require a minimum credit score to be able to apply. Insurance coverage. You can get cheaper insurance potentially. Deposits on utilities and terms on cell phones. Better credit, less you got to pay on some of the upfront stuff. And the obvious one of get a credit card and get a home mortgage, all part of your credit report and your credit score. Good credit can help you. On the other hand, bad credit can hurt you. You want to have as good a credit as you possibly can, and you want to have your credit score improved. And we'll talk about that. There's a lot of information out there that calculates your credit report and your credit score. We'll get into that more as we go along. So what is a credit report? They're created by credit reporting companies. There are the big three: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Collect information from a lot of sources. They organize it in a report. They use an algorithm. They sell it to businesses. That's how they make money. And again, the three big ones are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. There are others, but those are the primary ones. There's 5 sections to a credit report: your credit card information, header identifying information, public record information, collection agency info, and inquiries made to your account. A lot of stuff in here, go from very poor to excellent. A lot of factors that factor into your credit report, and we'll go through them. Negative information. If you got negative information on your credit report, it can last for a while. If it's negative, it can last for 7 to 10 years. Bankruptcy, 10 years. Civil suits, judgments, 7 years. However, all that can be kept in your file unlimited time frame if you're applying for credit or life insurance with a face value of $150,000 or more. Or they can go back for a $75,000 job or more. Not as done quite as often, but it is open for people to be able to look at it. So make sure if you have negative information, you try and address it and take care of it. These are what some credit reports look like. Equifax, you can see they've got their score in the top left-hand corner as you look at it. TransUnion, it's right in the center. Experian, the bottom left as you're looking at it. There's a bunch of information in here. You got to get familiar with it and know what you're looking for. Examples of a credit report. This is a little bit more detailed. In the first section, you're going to have personal information. Then you got a section on account information, including your balances, pay status, if you're past due, when they were opened, how much payments are being received. All that information's there because your credit card companies give it out. Public records, bankruptcy, civil lawsuits, All that information's out there for your credit report to get, gather, and report upon. Here's a fictional credit card payment schedule. Again, made it up. All public records. You can see the balances from March of 2022 to November 2022 from right to left or going down. So you're able to see that this person's paying off their debt. Shows the amount paid, anything past due. Banks keep records of these over time. Therefore, they give them to the credit card companies. Credit card companies give them to the credit bureaus over time. They see it. Any collection agency info is going to show up there. Student loans, they're going to show up there. Okay. So make sure that you're aware of where you're at with all of your bank statements, so you know what's on your credit report. Now you can dispute things though if something was wrong. For example, in May, no amount paid, anything past due. You actually made the payment. Have your paperwork handy for you so you can submit it to them. Okay. Explain why you think it's wrong. And if you're submitting something, don't give them your originals. If you're mailing it, send them a copy so that you have the original on hand. Make sure that you cover yourself if you're disputing it. But check it out if you think that there's a major error. It can bump your credit score up potentially significantly depending upon what the error is. There's a lot of terms here. I'm going to let you read through these a little bit. But these are all somewhat negative terms. Payment status. That can be good or bad. Delinquent. That means you're 30, 60, 90, or 120 days delinquent, aka you haven't paid your bill on time, aka that's bad. Default. You haven't paid and you've given up. Charge off. This is when business decides that they're not going to try and collect from you anymore. Doesn't mean the debt is erased. It just means that they're not trying to collect it anymore. They've charged it off their books. Close date. Date and account's closed. Not the worst thing. But if there's no reason to close an account, don't close it. Leave it open. Then there's Chapter 7 and 13 bankruptcy. Again, these are two legal ways in which you essentially say, I can't pay off my debts, and you try and start over. Try and avoid those. If you need to, you're going to want to talk to a lawyer to figure out the best way for you to go through a bankruptcy. What are credit scores? They're numbers created by a mathematical formula that use pieces of your credit history to calculate a score at a moment in time. Let me stress that, at a moment in time. Your credit score is going to change month to month based upon what you're doing. If you get an increase in your credit limit, your credit score is probably going to go up. If you pay down your credit card bills, your credit score is probably going to go up. If you charge more, it's probably going to go down. You have control over it, and it's going to fluctuate on a monthly basis. They do provide a standardized way for businesses that do offer credit to understand whether you're a good or bad credit risk, and then offer you a loan or not. And again, there are multiple companies that calculate and sell credit scores. You will see different numbers out there. They all have different scales. Learn what the scales are to find out if yours is really good. In terms of the items in which they use to calculate it, they're pretty standard, starting with payment history. Do you pay on time? Yes, no. Pretty easy. If you pay on time, don't worry about it. If you don't, this could be dicey. Amounts owed, another big percentage, right? Do you owe a lot? Do you owe a little? It's going to impact your score. Have you gotten new credit anytime soon? That may be a sign that you're having trouble paying your bills, and that might be looked at negatively. Length of history. How long have you had credit? Is it 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30 years? If you don't have it, start today. If you've got it, keep it as long as you can. Don't close those accounts. Lengthy credit is a good thing. And then the credit mix is thrown in there as well. That's, do you have a credit card? Do you have a student loan? Do you have a mortgage? Do you have a car payment? What's your credit mix look like? And again, they all use different mathematical formulas. They're all going to come up with a different answer, different score to tell people what your rating is. Again, what are the influences? Talked about this a little bit. Payment history is the biggest one. Age and type of credit, big deal. Percentage of credit limit used, that's a big deal as well. Say you've got $5,000 of credit available to you, and you use 4,000. You've got 80% used. That's a big amount. Now, say you've got $10,000 available, but you're only using 4,000. That's 40%. That's a lot less usage. That's a little bit better on your credit score. Now, say you got $20,000 available and you're only using 4,000. Now you're using 20%. Your credit score is going to be even better. So make sure you understand that ratio. Balances to debt. Again, it's going to be an influence there. Recent credit behavior. Again, this is where you get a credit card or cancel one. And then available credit. Again, it's not that big a deal, except as it pertains to the percentage of credit limit used. That's where it's a big deal. Again, this is at a high level. It does get much more granular when you actually get into the scores, but this is credit 101. One of the big things that some people have a challenge with is being credit invisible. This can create real problems to function in society today. Can you rent a car? Can you go out and rent an apartment? Can you buy a house? Can you buy a car without having it all in cash? It's a big deal, right? 1 in 10 consumers were found to have been credit invisible in 2015. That's a pretty big percentage, right? You've got to establish credit somehow. Figure out a way to do it so you can actually improve your credit. It's part of life these days, whether we like it or not. You don't have to go nuts on it. You just have some credit and show that you're good at it. You don't have to rack up bills, but have it, use it every once in a while, even if it's just to put something like Netflix on it, whatever it costs per month. Throw Netflix on the credit card, then have the credit card automatically paid off every month. Your credit will look a lot better over time. And again, a lot of this has to do with low-income neighborhoods. Get yourself educated, find someone to help you not become credit invisible. How do you get your credit report and scores? You can start with a free annual report. You get one every 12 months. And some states allow for additional reports every year. You can also get them if you're applying for public assistance, looking for employment if you got unemployed. There's fraud, you think there's inaccuracy, you can ask for a report. And any adverse information taken against you, denied credit, denied a job for credit, you can ask for it to take a look at. How do you order your free credit report? Go to annualcreditreport.com. You might have to answer some questions to make sure it's you. Do it on a secure computer. Don't do it on the public library or some other public computer system. Do it in a safe and secure location, or you can order it by phone. The 800-877 numbers there. Or again, you can download the request form from annualcreditreport.com. Beware of imposter sites, though. Free credit reports are offered by everybody. If you click on the first couple of things and if you do a Google search, they're going to be ads. They're going to take you to the wrong place. They ask you for money. Don't give them money. It's free annual credit report. Free. All right. And again, if you're under 18, you can have some challenges to get that. But again, that's your credit report. Credit scores, you can get pretty regular and easily. Lots of places have them now. I know my banks have them. All my credit cards have them. They'll give my credit score update on a monthly basis. Easy thing to get. So again, you want to get your free scores if you can as well. Reach out, ask your banks. They'll be able to get you one. You have a right to a free score if you're looking for a mortgage loan. Lender uses a credit score. Application turned down. Right, gets less favorable terms. You can also take a look at it then. Here's a little chart that has 18 items on it for credit report review. Just check off the boxes. Is your name correct? Correct social security number, all the way down the line. You know, our account's listed more than once. Read it, go through it. If you find mistakes, take a look at it and figure out a way to contest it for its accuracy. Make sure your credit report is up to date and accurate, because it's your report. It's about you, and people are going to make assessments on you based upon your credit report. Make sure it is accurate for yourself. Again, dispute it, dispute it, dispute it. Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, they're all listed here. They've all got websites. You can see their addresses. We can get them to you. If you want to reach out to me, I can get it to you. And you can file a dispute, or you can Google them. Okay. You may have to file a report at each website, but if you can get it right and improve your credit, you're going to be on the right track. Got to explain why it's wrong, what you think is wrong and why, and have that documentation. Here's a little sample letter. Again, we can get this to you if you really want it. Just ask, we'll be able to get it to you. It's just basics, blocking and tackling. I'm disagreeing with this. This is the reason why. Here's my proof. Please fix it. Okay. You can do it by certified mail as well with a return receipt, so you know the letter was received. Lots of companies have online services now where you can upload information as well. Again, if you think there's an error, file the dispute. We got a little checklist here. You can also go to consumerfinance.gov/complaint or call the 855 number. Okay, if you feel you've been victimized by credit theft, identity theft, go to identitytheft.org. They'll give you some steps on how to deal with identity theft as well. Okay, so there's ways to help yourself. Improving your credit scores shows how you use credit, so just be smarter with it. Right? Again, we talked about this, but score is just a number to predict how likely you are to pay back a loan. Starts with information from your report. They do a computation, they give you a number. Next bullet point is very important. How to get and keep a good credit score. Pay your loans and bills on time, first and foremost. And then make sure your information is correct. That's it. Pay your bills. Don't rack up too much debt. You're going to get a good credit score. It might take some time if you've been credit invisible for a while, but over time it will improve. Okay. Currently have access. Don't use it all. That will look bad. It will lower your credit score. And if you want to get something in the future, know what your credit score is, work on improving it so you can get a better rate. It helps. Talk to a professional. There are lots of strategies out there that you can use. Again, these are all things you want to talk about with a professional if you feel the need to. But again, it comes down to understanding it, making a plan, attacking your debt if you've got it, getting credit if you need to, and figuring out how to improve your score. Again, it's going to take some time. Record keeping is important. Keep records for everything. Your bills that are paid, keep a record of them. I have them all online. I don't get paper anymore. But all my bills are paid online. I've got a record of when I paid them from the bank. I can always get it. Everything's for me is electronic so that it's easily accessible for me to say, yes, I paid this. Yes, I paid this. Yes, I paid this. Okay. So if you've got an idea on that, please try to make sure that you have it so that you are set up with good record keeping. Okay. If you're not going to do it via electronic auto payments, make sure you have a calendar that tells you exactly when you want to have your payments made so that you can ensure that they're paid on time and they're not late. Okay. Have it in an easy read spot, have some file folders, make sure everything's paid appropriately. Give each category a color. Okay. I don't care what the colors are, just give them a color. Again, you want to keep good records. If you have them at home, try and get a fireproof box. Or you can go to the bank, get a safety deposit box. Cycle them through on a regular basis. You don't need much more than a year, 2, 3 years. But check for the accuracy of them. Hopefully, you've learned a good amount about credit reports and scores. You've learned that you've got to take control of it. It's your report. Own it, own it, own it. Take advantage of it and make sure that you are taking the time to understand your credit. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out. If you want any of the documents, again, feel free to reach out. And if you got feedback on this training, let me know. I'd be more than happy to take it into consideration. Always looking for ways to improve. But again, my name is Chris Shea. I'm financial advisor with BPS Financial Services. And hopefully you've learned a little bit about Credit 101.